6 p.m. in Mozogo, that is in the far north region of Cameroon. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for joining me on today's edition of the 6 p.m. Primetime Newscast. For presentation, I am Immaculate Fogwe. Cameroon joins the world to commemorate World Peace Day today. The celebration is coming at a time when the peace of the nation is greatly threatened by the over 6-year-old Anglophone crisis, attacks by Boko Haram terrorists in the far north region, and the Seleka rebels in the east region. These are some of the major issues that have been affecting the peace and stability of Cameroon. Tonight, we will tell you how these frequent attacks have inflicted enormous human, material, and financial losses on the affected population. That is our lone major story tonight. Stay with us for details and more. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen, for choosing Equinoxe television. You definitely made the right choice. Humanitarian access remains challenging in the northwest and southwest regions of Cameroon, where humanitarian partners have been engaged continuously to be able to reach affected population in order to provide humanitarian assistance and services. Vulnerabilities are being exacerbated due to insecurity and also the hike in the prices of basic commodities, particularly in divisions with significant movement of traffic limitations. This is part of a situational report released by the United Nations Office for the Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs, OCHA. Femi Armstrong Sanda has the details.
The highlights of the report produced by aucun Cameroon in partnership with humanitarian partners says at least 3,655 persons were displaced in July 2023 alone in the northwest and southwest regions due to violence. The report sustains that insecurity remains high due to frequent and sustained clashes between state security forces and non-state armed groups. aucun says the armed conflict with reported incidents of killing, abductions for ransom, extortion, arbitrary arrest, destruction of property, and physical assault is severely impacting the population. The report says most of the people, the 3,655 displaced in July 2023 alone, were displaced in the Meme division, the Manu and the Fako divisions in the southwest region, while the Mezam and the Bui divisions recorded the highest numbers in the northwest region. The use of improvised explosive devices along road axes, especially in the northwest region, continued to be reported, like the case of Sop and Wainama in the Bui division on the 11th and the 19th of July 2023. Violence against healthcare and educational infrastructure and personnel were also reported. The report cited 4 cases against healthcare in the southwest region, 4 different attacks between July 6 and 12 in Aqua village in the Manu division, Bokosi and Wone villages in the Meme division, as well as Besale village in the Bialem division. The report also highlights attacks on education, citing Dub, where civilians renovating the Dub government bilingual high school were kidnapped. It says roadblocks by non-state armed groups continue to affect traffic, population movements, and hamper humanitarian interventions and access to affected populations.
And still talking about rising insecurity, Boko Haram fighters continue to commit atrocities in the far north region of Cameroon. In one of their most recent attacks, the fighters killed at least 2 persons, leaving 2 others severely injured. The frequent attacks in the region has affected the peace and tranquility of that part of the country. AC Lucy Liengu reports.
Boko Haram attacks in the far north region for the past years have led to a major humanitarian crisis, which has forced more than 322 people out of their homes. Since 2014, the presence of the jihadist group has also caused the lives of civilians and others vulnerable persons. The attacks in the far north region has been a threat to the peace and social stability of the country.
Levez les mains. Retournez-vous.
Last Monday, 2 people were killed. Reports say the suspect broke into a village known as Choko in the Meme, where the suspect also made away with cows and other animals. On the same day, Boko Haram rebels attacked Kolofata and Gide and made away with some commercial motorcycles. as the world celebrates the International Day of Peace today, 21st of September, the inhabitants of the Far North region hope that authorities put in place concrete measures so as to restore peace in the region.
In the same vein, Cameroon joins the world today to commemorate World Peace Day. The day is being celebrated at a time when peace seems to be far-fetched. In the upcoming report, Babla Jonathan takes a look at the deteriorating situation of peace in Cameroon, Africa and the globe. He talked to some peace crusaders who lament over the fact that peace has become a rare commodity in several parts of the globe. His report.
The 2023 Global Peace Index of the Institute for Economics and Peace shows that global peacefulness has been deteriorating since 2008. Conflicts have been increasingly threatening peace in several parts of the African continent. In Cameroon, peace has become a rare commodity, particularly in the crisis-stricken northwest, southwest, and far north regions of the country.
Very few people can claim that they are enjoying peace, semblance of peace, because violence against one man is violence against all. Injustice against one man is injustice against all.
Cameroon is not at peace. Looking into the fact that there is war that is going on in the far regions of Cameroon. In the northern regions of Cameroon, we have the Boko Haram, and also in the Anglophone regions, northwest and southwest, where there is war. And on a daily basis, in almost all the regions, we live in perpetual violence. We have registered deaths here and there.
International Peace Crusader and Tumfo barrister Nico Hale attributes the situation to poor governance and greed.
Resources that are meant for the people are in the hands of a few. And so that creates unemployment. See, in Africa, see how they are crossing the Atlantic Ocean, going to die. They are dying. They don't care where they die. People are groaning. People are poor. That is what you should say. Miserable. It's horrible.
To him, the mishaps of yesterday and those of today must be corrected from top to bottom.
Let us not only pray, because James says prayer without action is dead.
A call to action that recognizes individual and collective responsibilities to foster peace.
Now we talk something else. A 2-year-old girl is currently in a critical state at a hospital while her elder sister has given up the ghost. Both of them are victims of a fire incident that occurred in Q1 in Baganti, that is in the west region of the country. The origin of the inferno that consumed only the children's room is still unclear. Malaglari tells us more about that tragic incident.
Burnt beyond recognition, this young girl of about 5 years and a 2-year-old sibling are victims of a fire incident that ravaged part of their family house. Family members say the incident that took place at Q1 Baganti in the west region consumed only the children's room, a room they say was always open but remained closed throughout the fire incident. It's a neighbor who discovered the smoke emitting from the house. She entered the house and checked on the children but didn't see anyone, but the fire was there. That was how the grandmother was immediately informed. The timely intervention of neighbors permitted the fire to be put out. The victims were immediately transported to a nearby hospital and later to Yaoundé, where the 5-year-old Kenya Ange gave up the ghost. The children, dès que je suis arrivé là, j'ai vu l'état, même la mère d'enfant, même la grand-mère d'enfant, nous tous nous prendre l'ambulance, on se sépare parce que c'était vers les 15 à Bangwa. Eux en partant à Yaoundé avec l'enfant, moi et mes soeurs sommes retournés ici à Banganti. Her 2-year-old younger sister, according to report, is in a critical state. Family members continue to question the origin of the fire and why only the children's room. Meantime, investigation is on course.
And over here in the city of Douala, 2 suspected bike thieves have been arrested by elements of the Jouées 2 in collaboration with the anti-criminal unit of the Douala Judicial Police. They were picked up in Aqua, where they are reported to have allegedly stole close to 50 motorcycles. Innocent Aze tells us more.
Yauba and Muhammadu, both 38 years, are accused of being behind the disappearance of several motorbikes at Ancien Troisième Douala, a busy economic hub.
At 2 o'clock, when I came back at 6 o'clock, I could not find the bike. Then on looking on the camera footage, the video, we noticed that the guys stole the bike at from 5 to 10 past 5, yes, at Ancien number 1, exactly behind to receive Ashakwa.
They fell in the dragnets of the GMI number 2 after several complaints by victims.
J'ai déposé une plainte au GMI et ce jour, on me rappelle pour me faire comprendre qu'on a arrêté les bandits.
About 3 months ago, we received several complaints coming from civilians who were complaining of stolen bikes around the Aqua neighborhood, precisely at Ancien Troisième. So we registered about 15 complaints about a mode of operation where suspects came and took away their bikes without their knowledge. So that's how we mounted an operation with the anti-criminality unit. We mounted an operation on the instructions of our regional delegate. An operation that led to the arrest of 2 suspects, Yauba and Mohammed.
Security sources reveal that the suspects, by time of their arrest, confessed of having stolen over 50 motorbikes via their modus operandi.
Throughout their operation, had taken away at least 50 bikes from different commercial institutions. We have taken about 5 bikes, and amongst the 5 bikes, 4 of them have been restituted to the rightful owners. Their mode of operation is known. They usually come around when people are occupied about their daily choices. They take away their bikes without their knowledge, and those bikes are being sold away.
Assurances have been made other bike thieves in the city of Douala will be tracked down, as well as those who bought the stolen bikes.
Now to our health page. Occupational health doctors in Cameroon are pushing for policies to change the precarious health situation of workers in the country. Considering the actual situation in Cameroon, other parts of the African continent and the globe, they say much is yet to be done, particularly in Cameroon. Babla Jonathan has the details.
The International Labour Organization estimates that over 1,400,000 work-related deaths occur annually, and hundreds of millions of workers suffer from workplace accidents and occupational exposure to hazardous substances worldwide. Many of the occupational deaths and accidents occur in developing countries of Africa, like Cameroon, where the health and safety of employees is poorly managed.
Our country today is very far. It's behind most of African countries. When you speak about occupational health and safety, they will take somebody to work without any social insurance, without any equipment, APE to protect him from risks.
Occupational health doctors blame the situation on inadequate understanding and negligence.
Many top managers don't understand the importance of occupational health and safety in a company, and you have most of them who just make us because they don't have to pay social insurance. They will tell you that yes, we have occupational health, but you will see that it's not really that. They have only a contract with an hospital or a private cabinet, but it's not occupational health and safety for the workers.
The labor health professionals are pressing for policies that give proper consideration to the health and safety of workers. The upcoming 4th Scientific Convention of the Cameroon Association for Safety and Health at Work, 11 to 13 October 2023, will examine the prevailing situation and map the way forward.
We now move to the Southwest region, where the Senior Divisional Officer for Mehmet Division says dialogue is the best way of solving problems. Tundong Chamberlain was speaking during a crisis meeting aimed at seeking solutions to the problems of unpaid salaries contested by council workers. The meeting took place at the conference hall of the Kumba City Council. Smajikan Gabriel reports.
A full Kumba City Council hall as workers and the administrators met to settle their differences after workers protested asking for unpaid salaries. To the municipal treasurer, they have paid all salaries and are now battling to pay the 9 months arrears they inherited from late Victor Nkelengo, who was the government delegate.
Between that time lag of September and October, no salary was paid. And in the handing over note, the technical handing over note, after an audit from the Ministry of Finance, it was established on record that the Kumba City Council is owing 9 months' salary, distributed as such. Salaries in voucher form from the month of March to September 2020 was 7 months, and there were 2 months overdraft at the level of the bank, making a total of 9 months arrear salary that the new administration inherited.
On behalf of all the workers, the spokesperson appreciated the efforts made by the city mayor, paying 3 out of the 9 months arrears they inherited from the former administrator, but said the city council should do more.
This is September already ending, which is going to make workers owe 4 months unpaid loans and overdrafts. So therefore, if you send 3 months to the bank, it is going to still be difficult for us to still meet up, because they will deduct 4 months loans and overdrafts from that 3 months salary.
In the course of the crisis meeting, the supervisory authority of councils urged the workers to dialogue whenever they have problems with their superior. After the crisis meeting, many workers are now hoping that things will go back to normalcy at the level of the Kumba City Council.
And out of our borders, the government of Morocco has promised to provide financial support to each household affected by the earthquake that killed thousands of people. Over to Niger, Mohamed Bazoum, who has been under house arrest since the junta overthrew him in July, demanding help from the Economic Community of West African States, Equinoxe. Our reporter Cedric Chakotio compiled the stories for us.
In the Democratic Republic of Congo, President Felix Tshisekedi has called for speedy withdrawal of the UN force in his country. He told the UN General Assembly on Wednesday that he had instructed his government to begin talks with the UN to bring forward the start of his progressive withdrawal from December 2024 to December 2023. Mr. Tshisekedi said the mission known by the acronym MONUSCO has failed to bring peace in his country despite being there for about 25 years. He adds that it was a luxury and counterproductive to continue to cling to the force so as to maintain peace. Over to Morocco, Rabat, capital of Morocco, announced on Wednesday, September 20th, a budget of nearly 11 billion euros intended for the reconstruction of houses and the socio-economic development of areas affected by the September 8th earthquake. According to the latest official report, nearly 2,000 people died and more than 5,600 were injured in the earthquake that hit the province of Al-Houz south of Marrakesh, particularly affecting remote mountainous areas. The program concerns in particular the rehousing of affected people and the re-establishment of infrastructures. These resolutions were taken after a meeting hosted by King Mohammed VI. And in Niger, overthrown on July 26, 2023 by the army, Mohamed Bazoum took legal action against ECOWAS to have his rights restored. The lawyers of the deposed head of state filed a complaint of his arrest and arbitrary detention, as well as those of his wife Hadiza Bazoum and his son Salem Bazoum. Note, it is for the first time that Mohamed Bazoum takes legal action against the state of Niger. 2 months after the coup d'etat against his regime, the successor of Muhammadu Issoufou refuses to sign his resignation to leave the field open to the military. In his standoff, Mohamed Bazoum received the support of France and many Western countries.
And over to our sports page, the head coach of the Harambee Starlets of Kenya say they are in Cameroon to get maximum points ahead of the return leg match against Cameroon. Beldin Odemba was speaking during the pre-match press conference ahead of their game against the Indomitable Lionesses tomorrow. Our reporters Magic and Gabriel followed the press conference of Coach Beldin Odemba and Jean-Baptiste Bissek. His report.
30 minutes was enough for the two coaches to tell us their game plan of Friday. Beldin Odemba, who is the head coach of the Harambe Starlets, said he is not yet set to actually tell us tactics that she'll use against the indomitable Lionesses of Cameroon come Friday. But she is very determined that the match that they are coming to play in Cameroon is a game that will carry them points while they prepare for the return leg match out there in Nairobi, Kenya. To note that the Kenyan national football team arrived Cameroon on a Tuesday night, and they have been preparing since Tuesday night for the match, and they say they are determined to go for the next Africa Cup of Nations that will be coming up in Morocco. The indomitable Lionesses of Cameroon, we had coach Jean-Baptiste Bisset, who says he is there to construct and he is there to bring in some new blood into the national female football team. According to the indomitable Lionesses captain Abudi Ongene, they said it is the first match they are playing against Kenya in a competitive game. Most of their matches have been on the friendly game, and of course the match of Friday they are expected to give in their best, and the goals will be coming forth according to what Abudi Ongene told us. Many journalists wanted to know why Estelle Johnson wasn't called. The head coach said it was for personal reason. That was why Estelle Johnson is not there. We are going to expect good results from Cameroon come Friday at the Bepanda Omnisport Stadium. At the conference room of the Bepanda Omnisport Stadium, Zefren Gondi, Jonathan Babiola, Josiane Gok, Smart Njikan Gabriel for Equinoxe Television News.
Thanks a bunch, Smart Njikan Gabriel. And that's it for the first part of the news. Talking Point is up next. Tonight on Talking Point, we will continue discussing about how the ban on close to 7 travel agencies operating in the Northwest region will affect the population. It should be recalled that the ban was imposed by separatist fighters. However, the owners of agencies have unanimously agreed to operate despite the threats. And my guest tonight is Professor Mark Anthony Akubang. He is a civil society activist. Good evening. It is a pleasure having you once more. Yesterday we began discussing on what might have prompted the fighters to decide to impose the ban on these travel agencies from operating in the Northwest region. Given that the owners have decided to defy this order, what do you think will be the reaction of separatist fighters who are known to retaliate in such circumstances?
Yes, I want to believe that there was a consultation that took place. You know, it is but normal that when maybe something comes like that, you should be shocked in the first place because we're not expecting that they will be targeted, because that's targeting. That means the separatists decided to target transport agencies, and on trying to target transport agencies, they did not take into consideration the very economic effect on the citizens, as well as the very businesses of the people, and also the various activities of citizens in the nation. Even if you were given the opportunity to lead, the separatists, the question we should be asking them is it by using draconian strategies like they are using that will cause the people to celebrate them? No. At the moment, each one of them is on the list of Cameroonians. And I want to say this. The consultation that these agencies did came as a result of the fact that they didn't see just one agency being banned or might be suspended or whatsoever. Should I use the word suspended? Yes. They discovered that there were more than 5, 6, or 7 of them. So in this case, they can stand together because unity is strength. And choosing to consult permitted them to come out with a memo that actually speaks their voice. They came out this time as one, saying that we refuse to succumb to every imposition by the separatists. They said that out of the strength of unity, not out of strength of individuals. If they work together, they will succeed. But as individuals, they will fail. And this is the first time the separatists are receiving a memo coming from citizens defiling their so-called lockdown or imposition or suspension. And this, to me, is what I think at the moment citizens of the region should be doing, because it is too much. Enough is enough.
Professor Mark Anthony, to assure the security of these passengers, what should owners of these agencies do?
In relation to the question, I would say that if these guys, the proprietors of these travel agencies, if they need to be able to safeguard and protect, or maybe to secure in fact, to make sure they assure the security of their passengers, it will be necessary that they align with the military. They should work with the military to protect the citizens, the passengers, and also their agencies. Because, you see, it will take these guys nothing to destroy those businesses. It will take them nothing to burn it down. They don't know the cost. They don't care. But that's how anarchy is. When you don't know the cost of a thing, it doesn't cost you anything to destroy it. So, I want to say that it is time the governor of the region stopped ranting and get into work. Protect these agencies. The military should work in collaboration with these agencies. Let the various agencies as well place vigilantes. I think it is time for them to get to the government and tell them they want to create theirs. Let them look for ways to protect the passengers and their business.
Professor, I would like to get from you, how will this decision taken by the separate, say, economic-wise, political-wise, or whatever?
Immaculate, into this question. If you ban travel agencies from operating, who is the target? It is not just the travel agencies, it's the people. You don't want them to move. And so it is going to directly affect the population of the region of the Northwest region. It will directly affect the passengers. And as a result, it is going to create an economic situation where the people will suffer more. It is going to directly impact their economic life. Because most of the time they use the agencies to come to Douala to buy products or buy goods and services that they use up there, or maybe they go resell up there in the Northwest region. And if you tell them to stop functioning, you tell them to stop transporting themselves to buy, then you are killing them. Are you going to give them money? So, if you are asking me, it is going to directly affect the population of the Northwest region directly. Their businesses are going to be affected. That's economic-wise. Social life is going to be strangulated. And a lot of things will go wrong. A lot. That is a kind of way of saying that you are banning traveling from this region. And how do you expect that maybe 2 or 3 agencies should save the whole of the region? It's not possible. Except you want to tell me that there's going to be maybe a supply of thousands of buses to the various agencies that have not been banned. But banning this, giving this ban, passing this ban is very, very terrible.
Prof, in a few seconds, tell us, what are some of your expectations at the moment? In such a situation, how should the state intervene?
See, let's be sincere. I've said long ago that the government has actually failed in helping in solving this problem. But they are still the ones who have the knife and the yam in their hands. So we are calling on the government to immediately look for strategies on how to solve this problem. We have heard that different government officials have mentioned the fact that in one way or the other, they are actually dialoguing. But the dialogue that they are doing, though in secret, is not yet producing the fruits we need. This is 7 years going on a crisis that would have been solved at the beginning. But if they can do something now, then it is time not only for a dialogue, I think it is time for them to sit down and talk with Cameroonians of goodwill from the Northwest region. And if possible, there should be a negotiation that should be reached and a compromise in order to stop this problem. The time is now. But concerning the immediate problem, which is the suspension of these various travel agencies, I think the government should do their best to release a contingent of military to protect these agencies. If not, they will be destroyed. It is very important. It is high time the government goes in to solve this problem. We are tired of every day seeing people die, of every day hearing unnecessary suspensions and so-called lockdowns that is affecting the people daily and making people to live miserable lives. Let the government do what they are supposed to do. And it is there, as I said once, the knife and the yam is in the hands of the government. They are the ones who can solve this problem. Go in now and begin not only doing the dialogue you have been doing, but it's time for negotiation. Let compromises be reached so that you can solve this problem.
Professor Mark Anthony Akumbong, and that's where we'll put an end to today's edition of the 6 p.m. primetime newscast on Equinoxe Television. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen, for your keen attention. Have a wonderful evening in the company of more interesting programs on ATV.